Most people quit just when they're about to achieve success. In the late 1800s, the world was captivated by the California gold rush. The promise of gold had drawn thousands of people to the rugged mountains of the West, eager to strike it rich. Among them was a young man named Darby, a determined, hopeful dreamer with a heart full of ambition. Like many others, Darby had heard stories of fortunes made and lost in the pursuit of gold, but he was convinced he could make it. He pooled his money together, bought equipment, and started his search. And after weeks of digging in the harsh terrain, Darby finally hit what seemed to be a gold vein. The first few weeks were full of promise. The gold was there, just as he had hoped. But as he dug deeper, the gold began to run out. The vein seemed to vanish. After weeks of exhausting labor, he found himself facing an overwhelming challenge. He had spent all of his money, and his equipment had failed. In desperation, Darby sold all his equipment to a junk dealer and walked away from the mine, never looking back. The dealer, however, was a little wiser. He had experience in mining and understood that many miners gave up too soon. The dealer hired an engineer to help him locate the gold, and after just 3 more feet of digging, he struck it rich. The junk dealer had found the gold that Darby had walked away from. Darby's story is one of the most poignant lessons about perseverance and the power of quitting too soon. Had Darby kept going just a little longer, he would have been a wealthy man. Instead, he turned away when success was just out of his reach. Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. Darby's failure wasn't in the lack of gold, it was in the lack of belief. He had the vision, the drive, and the resources, but when faced with adversity, he gave up. He did what many people do when things get tough. He stopped just short of success. Yet, this wasn't the end of Darby's story. After realizing the mistake he made, Darby learned one of the most important lessons in life, the value of persistence. Rather than letting this failure define him, Darby made a life-changing decision. He didn't let his one failed attempt at striking gold stop him from trying again. In fact, he became more determined than ever before. This time, however, it wasn't gold that he sought, it was success through perseverance and a deep understanding of the law of never giving up. Darby went on to work in the insurance business, but his time as a gold miner left him with a lesson he would never forget: the greatest failures often happen just before success is about to arrive. He applied this mindset to his career, never losing faith, and soon his career took off. His willingness to persist, to keep going despite setbacks, allowed him to achieve success beyond what he had imagined in the mines of California. When you come to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. Franklin D. Roosevelt. By learning to press on, Darby found his gold not in the mountains but in his ability to persevere when others would have given up. Darby's story resonates with anyone who has faced setbacks in life. The truth is, everyone encounters challenges. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not in the challenges faced, but in how they respond to them. Each failure, each obstacle, is part of the journey. Too often, people give up right before they are about to cross the finish line, just like Darby did. The gold, the success, the breakthrough, the dream, is often closer than we think. If Darby had just dug 3 more feet, he would have seen his efforts pay off. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Robert Collier. What keeps people from achieving their dreams isn't necessarily a lack of skill or resources, it's a lack of belief in themselves when the going gets tough. They stop just before the finish line, thinking that success is too far out of reach. The lesson Darby learned is this: success often comes right after you think about quitting. Many people face adversity and find it hard to keep moving forward. They feel like giving up is the only option because they can't see how close they are to their goal. But true success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about learning from failure, adapting, and moving forward. Most great people have attained their greatest success just one step beyond their greatest failure. Napoleon Hill. When Darby walked away from the gold mine, he couldn't see that his failure wasn't final. What he didn't know was that success was just 3 feet away. The journey towards success is not always easy, but it is always worth it. The most important step you take is the one right after you think you can't go any further. Every person who succeeds in life has faced adversity. They've had moments where they thought about giving up. But it's those who keep moving forward, those who refuse to stop, that eventually find success. The key is to embrace failure and keep moving forward even when the goal seems distant. Darby's story reminds us all that we are closer to success than we think. Most of us are 3 feet away from gold, just like he was. When faced with adversity, the most important thing is to keep going, to push through, and to stay persistent. Success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about continuing to move forward, learning, and growing. Darby didn't become wealthy from the gold mine, but he became rich in the lessons he learned from his mistakes. His ability to keep going, to press forward despite setbacks, turned his life around and led to real success. If Darby had given up when the world told him to, he would have never experienced the achievements he later found in his life. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow is our doubts of today. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Darby's story teaches us that failure is not final. It's a stepping stone on the path to success. The important thing is to learn, grow, and never give up, no matter how difficult things seem. Remember, you may be just 3 feet from your own gold,